Good afternoon, everyone. It's been a while. Sorry about that. I had to get some water. So, for those who don't know me, my name is Hiram Figueroa, and I am the host of LinkedIn Perspective. And I've been doing this for quite some time. It's been a while. And the reason why I haven't done it is because I'm really focusing on the content. I normally do it quite a bit. And today, what we're going to be able to talk about is quite a few things. I want to touch up on not only on the topic of my friend Fred Galvin, who's a brother, brother from another mother, and a distinguished but humble uh, field grade officer that served in the Marine Corps and was part of the special operations community, and wrote a book that's a bestseller. That's going to be a bestseller called "A Few Bad Men." If you notice that copy of that image that I have right there. And the reason why I say that is because for a number of reasons. It's to be able to address quite a few things that need to be addressed as well. And the thing about it is that we haven't to to piggyback on that, we haven't quite a few other things. We had the live syndication of the inquiry about the insurrection yesterday on CNN with the White House, about President Trump and everything else. Also, the other thing that I come to find out, and is very disturbing, is the situation that happened in Uvalde, Texas, where we're finding out that there were the kids were still alive for at least another hour before they were brutally assassinated by this, active shooter. And the thing that really bothers me that I need to put it out there is one, right? They talk about us veterans that we are baby killers and we do everything and we have no type of remorse whatsoever. But here's the thing, right? Before I move on to the initial subject, how is it that you become a law enforcement officer? There's an active shooter, there's children, and you're waiting for backup. How do you do that? How do you explain that? When meanwhile, here's an oxymoron. We have Marines, we have not only Marines, but look, active duty members through all the branches of services that have gone to Iraq. I'll go from Iraq to Afghanistan right now. And more or less, they signed a blank check up until their lives to be able to get the recognition and to prove that patriotism, that freedom's never free. So what's happening in society, what's happening right now is that quite a few things are happening, right? We, conveniently find things that are justifiable, and we're conveniently finding other things that are not justifiable. So here's something to put out there. I posted two things that I found out from TikTok that's pretty much a cover up from this active shooter thing that happened in Uvalde, Texas. One thing is the actual vehicle, how this 18-year-old who's unemployed, has no credit, was able to attain a vehicle as well. The other factor is how is it, and TikTok took it down because I took that segment and I posted it on Facebook, and it was getting a lot of reviews, and all of a sudden Facebook just blocked it. And all I can tell you is a military active duty member that explains the correlation. How is it that this individual, this 18-year-old with no credit, no money, was able to get significant firearms, body armor, a head cam, and helmet, Kevlar helmet, right? And some scopes and different sided weapons with over 250 rounds of ammunition and some other sidearms that equivalent to about $9,000. And he has no job. He has no credit. He's unemployed, but he was able to get that. The other factor that I really am pissed off about, and I can say that right now, is how is it the law enforcement pretty much is covering this up because the chief of police in Uvalde, Texas, with all due respect, made a bad business decision because he was worried about his ass and not worried about the kids. How is it that you're worried about your ass when you got 21 innocent lives, including 2 teachers, that paid the price for your stupidity? You made a bad business decision based on emotion, which goes back to my point about the if you see the picture up there, A Few Bad Men. And when we're talking about A Few Bad Men, right now, my buddy Fred Galvin is working, but we're going to be able to correlate quite a few things. We have a couple of active duty people that have wrote significant books. And I have one right now that I haven't read, but this is my Perfect Effing Life. Okay. And the Perfect Effing Life is by my buddy right here that's been able to Jason Lee, who wrote this, who's from the special operations community. And, you know, these are books that people need to know. And when you pay attention to the insurrection and what's happening about there was a coup that was going to be taking over from the White House and everything else, we had a federal police officer that specifically stated that she wasn't designed to be in hand-to-hand combat when this insurrection came up. She has a traumatic brain injury. She still has combat PTSD. And I say combat because that was a combat situation. So it's equivalent to chronic PTSD. But at the same time, everybody's complaining about what's going on. Now, don't get me wrong. Mr. Trump did a lot of things as far as, changing the direction of the economy and everything else. But there's a lot of things that I don't agree on. But when we're talking about situations of bad judgment and hypocrisy, why don't you take a moment and order this book of A Few Bad Men? A Few Bad Men is pretty much written by, or, told by Fred Galvin, and it was written by another writer, and I don't have it in front of me because I don't want to be rude, and I don't want to, well, here he goes right here, excuse me. Let me take this book out. Few Bad Men, all right? And it's by Sal Maynard, right? So A Few Bad Men is pretty much a bestseller. So Sal was able to correlate the information that Fred was able to bring up and pretty much put it out there that it was a major, excuse my language, shit show, right? And I say the shit show is how is it a special operations unit that was a task to do a mission outside in Afghanistan and was literally ambushed, right, in the crossfires, defending themselves. And then pretty much, I want you to get the idea of it. They were, they protected themselves. They did minimal force within the jurisdiction of their operations. And as Fred was being one of the commanding officers, we want to be able to, I don't want to give it all away. To make a long story short, it was pretty much they did what they had to do. Then they came back and they were treated like crap. They were also up for a special court-martial. Now, a lot of guys in that unit till this day are pretty paranoid of what's going on. But I've been able to share this book, which is going to be a bestseller, and I'll be reading the Perfect Effing Life with Jason Lee, who wrote this, who is also an operator. But we want to be able to share this story. But let me look at the comments right here. There's pretty much everything else. What's up, Maria? How you doing? Yes, we have a good topic today. I can't believe that, we're doing all this truck. Excuse me. I believe that the truck was his grandmother's. Yes, we know that. But we want to make sure because there's rumor controls on it. Thank you, Cynthia, for that. And Rosie, good afternoon all. Thank you, for inviting in LinkedIn. I'm listening. I appreciate it. So getting back to what we're talking about still. Situation with A Few Bad Men. Here's a story that happened 15 years ago, right? With a couple of special operators that were tasked to take care of the situation, seek and destroy, seek and neutralize. Let me use the word neutralize because some people don't want to hear the destroy. People are very sensitive about it, but we're in a combat situation, So these operators went on, did their job, came back to the United States, and was literally put in a cancel culture situation, going up for general court-martial, war crimes. How is it that my point to you is this? How is it that it's war crimes when we're out there fighting terrorism that we got attacked in the United States over 20 years ago, right? Sorry about that. So, this, I've spoken to Fred offline. We had a long depth conversation. But if you really want to know what's really going on, order the book. A Few Bad Men. It's on A Few Bad Men. It's on Amazon. And the other thing is you could get it for audio, to listen to it. And it will tell you the dysfunctionality of the upper echelon. We'll talk from, 06 and above. We'll go lieutenant colonel, and above. That strictly we're just focusing on their promotions or their what we call fitness reports to be able to get to the next move and not care less about the mission and not care less about the livelihood or the reputation of these Marines, especially Fred, who put their lives on the line to protect us, who do the unnecessary things that nobody else wants to do, but they want to quarterback, right? So justifications of everything else. To my point, we have another situation where it comes with my buddies that are part of the Mossack 3. This has been going on for 3 years. A similar situation that has happened, but this was pretty much in a self-defense mode, but still they were treated as criminals, guilty instead of proven innocent, right? So they were proven guilty still. And they have to prove their innocence versus being proven guilty. Why am I saying that? There's a lot of dysfunctionality on this. Understand this, ladies and gentlemen. What's important here is that there's a couple of things that are very hypocritical when it comes to real life, untold stories of situations like this. I want to be able to stress of getting the book. It's going to be a bestseller, A Few Bad Men. It's on Amazon. Written by told by Fred Galvin, written by Sal. And we're so proud of Fred and Sal to be able to put this together. It's a long time coming. I've had other Marines at different social media sites ordering the book. I highly recommend that you put it out there. If you really want to reach out and find out what the real story is, Fred Galvin is tagged on this live broadcast and podcast of LinkedIn Perspective. He has a LinkedIn Perspective, he has a LinkedIn profile. Reach out to him and ask any questions as far as that is concerned. So 3 things that are coming up to mind, right? We have the insurrection trials and, congressional hearings of what's happening with the insurrection in January 6th with Trump and everything else. I don't want to touch that because I'm not a politician, but facts sell, stories tell. The other factor is the biggest thing that I have a hard time with is this, this chief of police, and that was the first law enforcement officer to oversee the operations to be able to breach and neutralize this active shooter, and failed to do so because it just told me he was just worried about himself not getting shot versus these kids that perished. But we have Marines, Army, Air Force, Navy, Marines that gone to war, that paid the ultimate price for less of an amount by bombing, sniping, casualties, especially coming back and being suicidal because our government in our nation do not appreciate what we've done, but we've done less with more. So my whole thing to you, ladies and gentlemen, is where do we draw the line? We can talk about it all we want, right? But as I stated in my post, what we do in the military is we take action, we ask for forgiveness later. Why are we asking for forgiveness and then taking action? My thing to you was, and it is today, is that the chief police got scared and everybody else was not prepared for it. It took the Customs and Border Protection, the Border Patrol, their elite SWAT team to just take action and ask for forgiveness later. So as I tagged them, I said kudos to them because they train for this on a daily basis, and they're no different from the Uvalde Police Department and the Texas Rangers or Texas local law enforcement, the sheriffs. They're no different. We just do things a little bit differently to be able to approach that. But my whole thing, as I stated today, is get this book. A Few Bad Men tells you exactly the BS, the cancel culture, the ongoing, unrepairable stain of trust and credibility that has happened not only to my buddy Fred Galvin, but to the other operators that are no longer in the Marine Corps. They can't get a job. They lost their families. You know, they're in isolation. They're paranoid. Just because the government made a bad business decision, political business decision based on emotion. So for a lot of people that need to understand that it's pretty relevant. But pretty soon, what I'm going to do is follow up with Fred, and we'll have a conversation again. But I just want to be able to put this out there, is get this book, Fred Galvin, A Few Bad Men. I'll put it out there, right? One more time. So, Fred Galvin, Few Bad Men. Told by Fred Galvin, Major, USMC, written by Sal Mania, right? Get it on Amazon. The other thing is, I'm going to be talking about another Marine, the Perfect Effing Life, okay, by Jason Lee. That's another one that tells you exactly how it is from an operator's perspective and how it is to be in the Marine Corps, and these are books that people need to understand, because the news is not going to tell you everything. It's not. The news is not going to tell you everything. Worry about it. We can agree to disagree with anything, that as long as it's respectful, communication is beautiful, what political party we support. Absolutely. And I think that a lot of people need to understand that. Okay. So this broadcast is brought to you by LinkedIn Perspective. It's if you want to be able to copy this link or share this link, go to YouTube and subscribe to LinkedIn Perspective. I have I have it there. It's to be able to, share it, like it, tag it, and because it goes on LinkedIn, it doesn't go any further, but it's on Facebook and on LinkedIn Perspective, Facebook Live, and on YouTube Live. So copy it, paste it, subscribe it. I want the people on LinkedIn to be able to subscribe it, because this doesn't go any further. I want to first thank LinkedIn for giving me the opportunity to create this and giving me permission, because the Trust and Safety Committee is out there. So we're not doing anything illegal, but this is for a virtual town hall for people to be able to share their thoughts, to be able to express their thoughts, and not be put in a cancel culture situation. But here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, the situation awareness of what I'm bringing in this book is very relevant to what's going on in society. People don't want to accept that. They find reasons to justify the results of what's going on. We are in a woke community. Look at what's happening right now. Gas in Los Angeles is at $9, pushing to 10. Out here in Riverside County is at 7, pushing at 8. So with the price of food going up and the shrinkage of quantity for the consumables for us, things are going so bad. And finally, the situation with the insurrection, as far as this congressional hearing is concerned and is going live, I think you should be really paying attention. First of all, I'm not going to pick any sides, because I'm not going to be politically correct. Do the right thing when people are not looking. Do the right thing. It's important that you understand that. And it's important that you as professionals should be able to, one, voice your opinion and express your concerns. The other factor is to be able to, sorry, I just dropped my water, to be able to share the content and give your own professional and political views, because this is a free nation. And finally is that with all these crazy shootings that are going on, I mean, I've never seen this in my entire life. Active shooting here, active shooting here, disgruntled people here. We're living in the Wild Wild West. Pretty much. We're living in the wild, wild west for a number of reasons because we have too much time. We have all the reasons why we want to do something and justify what's going on. But at the same time, on this Friday afternoon, right, I just want to be able to chime in and share some things. If people want to be able to call, feel free to call 562-286-3111. That is 562-286-311. The other thing is, if you want to text it or you want to comment, that's fine. This is just for you. This broadcast is not sanctioned by any sponsors or anything like this. I facilitate everything, but we focus on the content. And the content, again, as I'm putting out, is get the book of A Few Bad Men written by Fred Galvin. So, go ahead, Rosie. Who is to blame and why is the gas so high? Thank you for your insight. It's a number of things, Rosie. The government's not going to say it. You know, a lot of people are speculating. I think it's just greed. I think it's just greed because we had 2 years of the pandemic going on 3. We lost so much money, and they're going to blame it on the war. They're going to blame it on everything else. But this has been ongoing even when Mr. Trump was in office. It just kind of blew up when Biden took office. So he's the fall guy for everything. And currently, you know, he's at the Americanas downtown Los Angeles and inviting all these Latin American countries. But here's the thing, he's making bad decisions because, as I know, all Latin American countries, regardless of what it is, they all stick together. So if you're not going to invite Nicaragua, Venezuela, Cuba, that's going to really piss off other countries as well. Oh, and Mexico. Well, Mexico decided to say, screw you in a way. I'm not coming to it because of being pretty much hypocrisy. So he's doing his best, but it's not the best. So what I'm stating is this: people, be mindful today of what's going on. Pay attention to your surroundings. Understand that all bets are off. In any active shooter, hostage situation, when kids are involved, all bets are off. I could give a crap or shit if some officers, you're not going in. If it's my kid, like a couple other people did, and kudos to the CBP officer that was at a barbershop, took the barbershop's shotgun and went in there, got his kids out there and went back in there. There's a lot of disconnects in that story. There's a lot of stuff that's going on. All I can tell you is, for a fact, you know, somebody said it was a grandmother's vehicle. My other factor is, how does a kid that has anger issues, you know, that's mentally disturbed, you know, and hateful in life, puts it out there that he's going to take out a whole school and has over anywhere from $9,000 to $10,000 of firepower and ammo? How does that happen? Who provided that? Somebody provided that, because that kid did not have a job or any type of money living in Southwest Texas, which I know it very well. I know that area very well. Castroville, Uvalde, Bandera, Del Rio. I know it very well. That is like the Mayberry RFD of the Latin community in Southwest Texas. And the Texans are very proud of that. So if you're interested, I posted something out there, looking in there. But the biggest thing is, I stated again, the reason why I posted, I'm on the air today, is to be able to advocate for Fred Galvin's book, A Few Bad Men. It's a story of a major cancel culture throughout the Marine Corps. It sets a precedence to what's happening to other branches of the service. It also shows a cancel culture for long-lasting abuse results for veterans who fought for this country and were treated unfairly. You know. So with that being said, I'll keep it very short today. If you like this segment of LinkedIn Perspective, share it, like it, tag it, put your comments in there. We'll hopefully get Fred, who's working right now, and we'll set up a time probably on the weekend right? And I really appreciate everybody's support. So get this book, A Few Bad Men by Fred Galvin. It's on Amazon. You can order it. It'll get there real quick, and you could get the audio version. You can hear it. It's going to open a lot of eyes. All right. And there's the Perfect Effing Life by Jason Lee, who's in the recon community. We're going to be talking about that pretty soon. I'll probably have him on there as well. But I just did this at a spur of the moment to be able to get everybody's attention on this as much as possible, and I want to personally thank everyone else that's been supporting this broadcast podcast for quite some time. And we'll be doing another one pretty soon. And we'll be doing another one as far as PTSD. I have a friend of mine, Scott. He created these lenses that help you, focus on 80. I'll show you real quick. So I'll give you an example, right? Well, I'm going to have them on there. So these glasses right here, excuse me, when something just popped up, unfortunately. These glasses right here, right? They have these lines right here. And then what happens is it focuses your vision in there. So I have quite a few models right here, and I'm going to do this. So what happens is that you can watch TV and you could be in the computer, and what happens is focus your vision on it, right? These are good. You can walk around for it. And what happens, it has a coloration. It's patented by him. And pretty much it helps ADHD, PTSD, ADD. It's a proven fact. It's patented. So we're going to be talking about that as well. And I like the glasses. They're like looking like Oakleys. I got quite a few. If you notice, I got another one. Since we're at it, free public. It comes with a nice bag right here. And, it's just like Oakley's pretty much. And he's going to be trying to sell it out there. But look at these bad boys, boy. Styling, good quality stuff, right? Check them out. I'll put it right here. Oops. See how it is? So pretty much good quality stuff that does this. And we're going to be talking about that now. And I'm proud of it because it's helped me for quite some time. Understand that PTSD is an ongoing medical condition, right? Mental condition. And the reason why I say that it's never going to go away, but they give you coping skills. So wait a minute, I got a few people. And thank you. I need to be open. It needs to be open. Thank you very much. And question number 2, what is your thought regarding the teachers allowing them to have guns in the office, in their office due to what happened in Texas? You have answered it later. Can you answer it now or later in the comments? Thank you very much. Here's my thing. I'll answer this real quick, right? Teachers with weapons in the office. Look, kids are unruly. They're unjustifiable. That's a liability issue. This is the way I look at it, right? There's always that one teacher that's going to feel threatened, especially if he or she has a firearm. Now, if he or she has a firearm and is being accosted by a student, what causes the student to go after the gun? Or what causes the teacher to pull out a weapon and shoot the student? So I'll leave you with that. So enjoy your weekend. Simplify. Always be silent. Get the book. Few Bad Men. It's it's told by Fred Galvin, written by Sal. It's a bestseller on Amazon. And if you have any questions, DM me. I'm on LinkedIn. If you want to look up Fred Galvin, he's tagged on the post. And you can send him a message. Simplify, always beside you. Always take action and ask for forgiveness later. Peace out.